Hey folks, problem number 3. They want us to make a 95% confidence interval. And they give us matched data, matched pairs. Okay, so first step is we need to subtract. Subtract down 30, negative 10, 100, and 40. If this was a test, I would probably use my calculator to get those numbers. I'm just doing it in my head right now. Did I get it right? Looks okay. Okay, 95% confidence interval. So it's going to be just like the game we were playing in 11.1. We're hunting for what number? 0. Okay. So basically, remember we keep talking about what's implied, what's not implied. So when we're making a confidence interval, remember that the null that's not written down is that the mean difference is 0, and the alternative is that the mean difference is different than 0. That's pretty ugly. Let me write it a little bigger. The null is that mu sub d equals 0, and the alternative is that mu sub d is not equal to 0. So remember, the null is always the idea of no effect, and the alternative is has an effect or some effect. Oh, also, notice how this is a colon, not an equal sign. How do you keep putting equals? So you put like equal, equal. So the null, colon. The idea is this mathematical statement. The alternative, colon, is this mathematical statement. Okay, so here's our numbers. Let's throw it into our calculator and create a 95% confidence interval. So stat, edit, enter, L1, go up, hit clear, hit enter. Let's give it the numbers 30, enter, negative. Again, don't do subtract, do negative. 10, enter, 100, enter, 40, enter. Okay, and now this is just like, what did we say? 9.2, so just do a t interval. So go to stat, tests, t interval, enter. Data or stats? Data. We gave it a bunch of raw data, so okay, data's good. Everything is in L1, okay. And frequency 1, everything showed up once. 95%, so let's change that to 95. Enter, enter. And it says negative 32.34, comma 112.34. Okay, so because we didn't have that much data, only 4 pieces, that's why our interval's pretty large. And because these numbers are so spread apart, right? Negative 10, positive 100. The numbers are all over the place. So they're wondering about this SAT prep class called the Harvard Review. I made it up. I figured if there's a Princeton review, there's probably a Harvard review. Okay, so we're wondering if the Harvard Review has any effect. What number are we looking for in this interval? What number is mentioned in the null? 0. We are looking for the number 0. So it says, based on your confidence interval, is there any statistically significant difference between the means? What number are you looking for in the interval? So I would say 0 is in the interval. 0 is in the confidence interval, which means this idea is okay. We can't get rid of it. So I would fail to reject HO. Oh, again, you see how none of this was really ever asked to be written out? I'm just doing this all in my head or off to the side. So they say, oh, make your confidence interval. Okay, here it is. What number are you looking for? 0. Oh, is it in the interval or not? What does it mean? Okay, I'm looking for 0. It's in the interval, which means I failed to reject HO, which means not enough evidence suggests, or not enough evidence. So not enough evidence to suggest. So because I failed to reject HO, or our book says do not reject HO. Same thing, fail to reject HO, do not reject HO. Should I write that there? Why does every book come up with a different way to say the same thing? Okay, fail to reject HO, do not reject HO, same thing. So if you say that, then it's not enough evidence to suggest this. And this idea means has an effect. Not enough evidence to suggest the Harvard review has an effect on SAT scores. Okay, so construct a 95% confidence interval. That's right here. Based upon your confidence interval, is there any statistically significant difference between the means? Explain your reasoning. So maybe I would say, maybe add the word because. Because 0 is in the interval, because 0 is in the interval, there is not enough evidence to suggest the Harvard review has an effect on SAT scores. Ta-da! So here's my confidence interval. And then to answer that next question, I would say because 0 is in the interval, there is not enough evidence to suggest the Harvard review has an effect on SAT scores. Okay. Hope that made sense, folks.